Councillor Osborn.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's a problem with this Wandsworth challenge, it seems to me. We've looked at it, we've been through the papers at committee, we've listened to the debate, we've looked at the resolution. And the problem with the Wandsworth challenge is it's long on all sorts of themes and ideas, but it is short of any real concrete proposals. What we've heard from the councillors debating this already, Councillor Cook listed a whole list, great long list, of community developments, community events. He said that's part of the Wandsworth challenge. Councillor Locker went through a few programmes and council policies. He says that's the council challenge. Virtually every speaker from the Conservative side has said everything that the council is already doing, that's the Wandsworth challenge. So where exactly is the challenge then? Where's the challenge going to come? What's new? What's different? There was one exception in the speakers on the Conservative side this evening. Congratulations to Councillor Morritt for actually coming up with something completely new, a completely new proposal, something radical, something challenging, but he added a little caveat. He said he'd like to see it. He'd like to see it in the Wandsworth challenge. He didn't say it was in there. He said he'd like to see it. What we got, when we looked at all the different papers on the Wandsworth challenge, was a series of themes, emerging themes. Incidentally, this evening, we are supposed to be debating, according to the decision of committee, the emerging themes and the supporting proposals. I fail to see any supporting proposals. We've still got the emerging themes left over from the paper at committee. There were a section of them, and I try to attach detail and meaning to them. The emerging themes. Very difficult to disagree with many of them, motherhood and apple pie. But let's just take the first one. The first emerging theme in the proposals so far. Theme A, new frontiers. What exactly are new frontiers? Last time new frontiers came up in politics, John F. Kennedy mentioned it in his inauguration speech to the people of the United States. It was public spending to alleviate the recession, that would be welcome, and a new space program. Even we wouldn't support a new space program if you put it in the Wandsworth challenge. We might support something in there if we knew what was in, if you actually came forward with something, so we could discuss it, debate it, and decide which side we were on. But you haven't done that. I think what's happened is this. Everything has been shelved to the autumn. The Wandsworth challenge is all entirely in the autumn. It's too controversial, you can't bring it out now. You need to think it through, you need to cost it. But unfortunately, somebody put in the paper that you'd have a debate on the 13th of July. So now you're scraping together all sorts of peculiar ideas and saying, well, that's part of the Wandsworth challenge. We don't know whether it is or not, actually. Let's have a look at the new frontiers. What do they encompass? There's a lot of championing, there's a lot of taking the strategic lead, facilitating, becoming, reviewing, exploring options, but nothing very concrete in any of it. Just a great rag bag of ideas that were already there in the first place, including things like the York Gardens Library, the so-called big society project at the York Gardens Library, where the energy and the enthusiasm of volunteers is being squandered because projects like that are only a success if you have a judicious mix of volunteers and professionals. And this council has omitted to put enough of professionalism into the mix, so it's faltering. That's our concern. That's our worry about York Gardens. If I was cynical, looking at why there were 7 speakers, if I was cynical, and I'm not, I'd say, well, now we know who are the most sycophantic of the Tory councillors. They're trying to ingratiate themselves with the leadership, scrambling forward. But I don't think that. I wouldn't say that. I'm not cynical. I think they're just trying to get themselves out of a fix because they promised a debate and they can't have one. They haven't got anything for it. Finally, I say this. We've mentioned it earlier on this evening. A word of warning to you all. Your Prime Minister is learning this week how foolhardy it is to put too much faith in a spin doctor. You look at the Wandsworth challenge at the moment, and all it is currently is a spin doctor's soundbite with no substance behind it at all. If I were you, I'd withdraw it we're going to vote against. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Osborn.